Just had some pizza, so I think some of my lipstick came off. Hey ladies. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join. Okay. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, thanks, Helen. Okay, my sister is here with me. She gets the reference. The influencer be like, thanks, Helen. So today's topic, I'm going to talk about the reality of leveling up. I hope you all are ready. It's going to be a quick one. I do not know why my dog is scratching the door. I can hear him scratching. It's going to be a quick one. Can you bring me my iPad, please? It's okay. Hey, Rachel. Hey, girl. You're so silly. Thanks, girl. Okay, Rachel, I'm just waiting for a couple more people to join. The topic today is the reality of leveling up. So, I'm just going to make a quick announcement. Okay, there we go. All right. So, the reality of leveling up. Okay, yes, that's the topic. So let's get started. Someone requested that I did this one, and I think it's such a good topic because I don't know if I addressed it. I don't have any notes or anything like that. I'm just going freestyle off the top of my head and from my my experience and from what I have noticed in the community. So, I think that when we first come into the level up community, we had no idea what we were in for. We had no idea because the way it was presented in such a way that, oh, you just come in, join the level up group, join the level up community, raise your standards, start dating dusties, start dating rich men, start having sugar daddies or whatnot. And, it was presented in such a way that it seemed so glamorous and it seemed easy when it really wasn't. It wasn't at all. Because I got duped too when I first got in, I think back in 2017. Late 2017. So I got pretty much duped, and it took me a year to realize how much work this is, because I honestly thought that, and again, the way it was presented, I honestly thought that, all you gotta do is come in, do your makeup, get your wig done or whatever, dress cute, put on that bodycon dress, go freestyling, and you're gonna get everything that you want. That's how it was presented. And I mean, I love the level up group, and I'm so grateful for Shira for coining the term level up and basically creating a whole movement. I'm so grateful for her for that. But I remember when I was in the groups, there was so much focus on getting your makeup right, getting your hair right, freestyling, having multiple sugar daddies, getting guys to send you cash apps. That was the beginning stage of the level up, because we thought that is what it was about. But in reality, the reality is it's a lot more work than people make it out to be. Because not only do you have to put in so much work, physical work, you gotta work on your appearance, obviously. We have to present ourselves as the best version of ourselves. We already know this. But the best version of ourselves also has done a lot of inner work, which is important. And I didn't know how important the inner work was, because we are talking about women, a group of women, and most of us came from working class background. We had no network, we didn't have a lot of knowledge, we didn't know the ins and outs. We some of us never even dated a wealthy guy before. Some of us didn't even know people with money, and to come from that, just to get in a group and think, well, oh, you just go to, as long as you get into this group, that's it, that's all you need. Once you get in this group, all you gotta do is, once you get in, you're gonna start living your best life. Basically, that's how it was presented. And maybe it wasn't done intentionally, but a lot of us, and I don't want to say fooled. I don't want to say fooled because a lot of us had unrealistic expectations. We are talking about the reality of the level up journey, yes. The luxurious rose said, Maria, I want to say thank you because I told you I was scared because people were staring at me when I go out with a millionaire older man. No, don't be scared. Listen, don't be scared about that, girl. We already know that these people aren't paying our bills. You told me not to care, and your mind was in my voice the entire night. Thank you. Oh, well, I hope you had a great night. I hope you enjoyed it. And just know that it gets better and better. So let's talk about, the freestyling, because I already addressed the whole, level up, appearance, whatnot. There were a lot of focus on that. And then, of course, the focus was now turning on to getting your bills paid by any means necessary. And there were people that were like, it doesn't matter if he's a narcissist or whatnot, as long as my bills are getting paid. There were a lot of crazy stuff that was going on. And again, of course, the inner work was never addressed at all. Never addressed. Never, never, never. Because there were a lot of women that were struggling, and they didn't understand why they were struggling, because yes, you want the lifestyle. Yes, you're trying to date higher quality men. But deep down, a lot of these women did not believe that they actually deserve the lifestyle. They didn't believe that they deserve it. They didn't believe that they deserve to be with these high value men. A lot of women. I remember I made a post in the paid group, and I said, "Is $500,000 a guy investing $500,000 in you before sex? Is that realistic?" And some women said yes, and a lot of women said no, that's not realistic, blah, blah, blah. And I was surprised by that, because if you think that you're dating someone who is a multi-millionaire or even a billionaire, why would you sleep with someone who has only invested like, $5,000 or something like that? Of course you wouldn't do that. I mean, that's what I think. So I remember, you guys remember that post? Those of you who are in the group, there were women that were arguing and going back and forth, and they just couldn't see it. Like, they couldn't see it. And I'm here to tell you, if you can't see it, then there's nothing I can do. You have to do the inner work yourself. However, if you can see it in your mind, if you can see the lifestyle in the mind, it's already yours. Sasha said yes. Yeah. If you see the lifestyle in the mind, if you see yourself living the lifestyle in your mind, it's already yours. It's already yours. You gotta believe it. You gotta believe it, and you gotta believe that you actually deserve it. Because if you don't believe that you don't deserve it, you're not gonna get it. And if you think that, oh, there's no way that a guy is going to invest $500,000 in me without sex, then then that's you. That's your reality. But it is very possible. And I know it sounds really out there for some people, especially if you're listening on Instagram and you're not in my group, or you're not on my Patreon. It may sound like really far-fetched and out there, but honestly, the reality of leveling up is understanding that the work that you need to do is not just external, but it's also on the inside, and it's also understanding how important hypergamy is when it comes to breaking generational curses, breaking generational poverty, etc. Because we are living in some very interesting times. The so-called pandemic, and the last thing you want to do is be out here entertaining people that are broke, people that don't have value, people that don't have a network. You don't want to associate with yourself with people like that, because like I said, and I said this in our private meetings, but I'm going to say it here really quick. There are powers that be, that are preparing to create a permanent underclass. And you do not want to be part of that permanent underclass, because if you're out here still entertaining dusties, still going 50-50, then you might be one of those people in the permanent underclass that is going to be dependent on universal basic income. Because people think universal basic income is a good idea. It really isn't, because the last thing you want to do is be dependent on a government system to eat and provide for your family. You don't want that. And I know some people are not going to present it in such a way that I'm presenting it right now, because people don't talk about this stuff. Hannah said the Great Reset is going to get them. Aisha said, yes, I want to be on the set side that has freedom. Yeah, me too. Which is why it's so important to do the work, because a lot of people and a lot of women are lazy. And another reality of the level up is the fact that there are a lot of women in the community that have financial issues. They made bad financial choices in the past, and with the pandemic and everything, it's basically coming back to bite them. Yeah, it's like an investment in yourself. Yes, you gotta invest in yourself. Everything that you're doing for yourself that only you can benefit from is an investment in yourself. Well, basically, I mean, I'm sure other people can benefit. It depends on what it is. Like maybe you took a course or something like that, to maybe an esthetician course or whatnot. It doesn't only just benefit you, but it benefit the community as well. But things that you do that only benefit you are really good for the soul. It is definitely self-care, and it is not selfish. But yeah, back to the whole pandemic reality stuff. You really have to understand that, and I don't believe that things are going to go back to normal, in the sense that the new normal that we're going to be experiencing in the next future is going to be nothing like what we knew before. It is going to be different. There are going to be so many changes, and I can already see it happening. So I don't think we'll go back to where we were before the pandemic, but the future that we're going into doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be a bad, horrible future. You don't have to be out here broke. You do not have to be out here dependent on universal basic income. You do not need that in your life, especially if you have children, or you want to have children, and you want to build a legacy. So yes, she said, neither do I. I'm getting prepared. So back to the women with financial problems. A lot of women just have, that their job, their one income stream. And I've been saying for a year and a half that you have to create multiple streams of income. And that's the only way that you can get out of, the permanent underclass, out of poverty, etc. Because when the pandemic hit last year, I literally lost 2 bags like that. I had just quit my job, that place that I worked at. I quit. I worked only for a year, and there were other things that I was doing, and was gone, completely gone. So all I had was YouTube, money that I get from my Amazon associate program. My husband was still giving me an allowance. So that's all the money I was getting at that time. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm pretty grateful that I had those other things to fall back on. I now have 2 YouTube channels that are monetized. I have a Patreon. I have other things going on. I'm working on other stuff in in the background. But I was thinking, if all I had was my job, or all I had was my allowance from my husband, or all I had was the YouTube, if it was just that one thing and I lost it, what would I have done? So a lot of people are facing that reality because some people are on unemployment. Some people, lost their job because of the pandemic, and they're trying to figure things out and trying to see what they can do. Like my sister who is here with me, she's still not working. You wanna come on camera? She doesn't want to come on camera, but she could share her experience with you guys if she wants, but I guess she doesn't. How did you feel when you no longer had an income when the pandemic first hit?
It's not a nice feeling at all.
She said it's not a nice feeling. Did you feel a lot of anxiety, desperation?
A lot of anxiety and not so much desperation, but more anxiety. I was like, what is your next move? What's your next step?
Yeah, so she basically, I do not know if you guys heard her, but she basically said it was a lot of anxiety, stress, and worrying about what I was going to do now, what's the next step. And she had a baby just before the pandemic. And my sister has a great support system, which is good, and some people are lucky to have that, but not everybody is lucky to have that. So, back to the women that were in the level up community with financial problems, they came in the community and they were asking silly questions like, how do I get a guy to send me money on Cash App? How do I get a guy to give me money on the first date? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, why do you desperately need men to give you money on the first date? Like, I don't get it. Because honestly, if you're not an escort, why are you trying to get money on a first date from a guy that you don't even know? He doesn't know you. And I'm thinking that, when you look at people that we admire in the community, like, Meghan Markle and all these beautiful ladies on Instagram, when Meghan met Harry, do you think she was desperate to get Harry to give her money on the first date, or desperate for Harry to pay her bill or pay her car note? Because a high-value woman doesn't have a lot of stress. She is resting in her femininity because everything is taken care of. She got her money, she got her own thing going on. She really is not desperate. And financial desperation is an issue in the level up community that nobody talks about. Sorry guys, my braces here, I'm sorry. You just said exactly. Yeah, it's an issue that nobody talks about in this community, and it's really sad. And I didn't see a lot of people talking about it, which is why I decided to start addressing it. And then, of course, another reality that people don't talk about. Well, I mean, some people do address it, but the cost of leveling up is expensive as fuck. It really is expensive. And I know how expensive it is, and I live in a third world country, so I am not shopping at Macy's or Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's. I'm not shopping at those places because first of all, we don't have those type of options here in my country. But there were girls that were trying to level up, trying to look cute on dates, didn't know what to wear, and I was looking at some of their outfits. Like I would see their stories and they would post their pictures, and I'm like, that's not really a good look. So I started the Charm And Opulence group, and that was a group that we would come together and talk about style and how to level up on our budget, because this is a big question that people get, and this is an issue that people have. Not everybody can buy a $500 wig. Not everybody can buy a $1,000 wig. Not everybody can buy Louis Vuitton shoes. Not everybody can buy Chanel bags. Not everybody can buy designer outfits. There are some women in our community that can, and that is great, because we all want to aspire to that, right? Eventually. But then again, your journey is your journey. I'll talk about that in a minute. So the level up is really expensive, and we have to look good, we have to look classy, we have to look good at all times, we have to be on our A game, because I don't like the 1 minute you look amazing and the next minute I see you look homeless and you're wearing a bonnet. You got to be consistent with your new image, and it's an upkeep, and it can be very expensive, and that's another thing that nobody was addressing. And then when I try to help people, I tell people that you have these options you can get on AliExpress. There's cheaper alternatives. There were people in the community that were basically coming for me and telling me that, oh, that's not level up and that's so gross, yada yada. Y'all, I made a video in the group addressing it. And Jessica said, I was just let's say a guy gives you 5K, if you spend it all on one designer, you are back to where you started. Exactly. But buy one good wig quality is important. Yes. Have you ever seen me in a bonnet? Why would I wear a bonnet? Is that a joke? It's Camarilla. Well, your name is Camarilla, so I'm gonna assume this is a joke. Where are you located? I'm in Trinidad. Yes, I'm definitely in Trinidad. And another thing, not on camera, obviously. I don't even know why that's a question though. Anyways, another thing that, and this is the last point that I'm going to make about, the reality of leveling up. Another thing that people don't understand is that this is not a one-size-fits-all journey. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone have different goals, and there is a lot of comparison in this community. A lot of comparison. This coach is better than this coach. Oh, this girl is married to this millionaire, but and you're thinking, well, this middle class guy or this upper middle class guy that I'm dating, who is paying all my bills, who's really generous, I should ditch him because he's not a millionaire or a billionaire. So you gotta figure out what your goals is, and this is one of the realities that people don't address. Joy, where are you? Hey, where did she go? Anyways, yeah, this is another issue that a lot of people don't address, and not everybody has the same goals. Not everybody is going to be living in Manhattan with their their millionaire husband. Some women are okay dating a guy and marrying a guy who's middle class and who's willing to take care of a family so that they can be a stay-at-home mom. People have different goals. And then people forget, because there was a time that everyone was talking about billionaires. I'm going to get myself a billionaire, and failing to understand and see that our mentors, which is Shira and the other one that I'm not going to mention, they are not married to multimillionaires. They're not married to billionaires. They're married to middle class men, and they're doing good for themselves. So this is another issue with the unrealistic expectations and the unrealistic goals. If your goals are so out there, you gotta really pull back and reevaluate your goals. At the end of the day, you can manifest anything, but if you have limitations, certain beliefs, certain core beliefs, etc., that can block you from manifesting something that you really want, because you really don't believe that you can, or you are blocked, or you have some kind of core belief or something like that. So this is why inner work is needed. Some women are Kim K types, some are Sharon Osbourne, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Middle class provider is a huge level up from Dusty's. It absolutely is. It's not just a huge level up, like that's like leaps and bounds compared to, last week you were dating a Dusty, or last year you broke up with your Dusty, and this year you're now dating a guy who's middle class, and he has a good network or whatnot. He can literally be your husband, or he could be your starter husband. There could be, that is definitely a level up. It really is. So again, you really have to be realistic with your goals, especially if you are, and I don't like to I'm not one to age shame or anything like that, so I'm not age shaming, I'm just letting you all know. Especially if you are at a certain age. Okay, so what you need to check is your age. That's what you have to evaluate: your age, your social status, and your bank account. All of those things can really determine where you go on this journey. For example, there are so many reasons why a man will marry a woman, and I did make a video on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna post a replay to this on my YouTube channel for those of you who missed the beginning. But there are so many reasons why a man will marry a woman, and usually in a lot of cases, her status is one. Her parents, it could be religion. There are so many reasons why a man will get married, and it has nothing to do with love at all. George Clooney didn't marry Amal Clooney because she was pretty. Yes, she's beautiful, but he didn't marry her because she was young and pretty. We already know this. And that's another thing. How many of you guys have heard that, people in the community saying wealthy men only like young women? I've heard that so many times. High value men only date young women that are in their childbearing age, blah, 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 yada, yada. All of this negativity. And I hear this stuff from some of the big people in the community, like Kitten Heels. I know he's a guy, but he's pretty much in the community and the reason why I say he's in the community is because you guys keep posting his content and talking about him. Yeah, there's a lot of ageism. So that's another issue that you will have to overcome once you're on this journey. Because if you're over a certain age, you are, by the way, if you are in a space, you are in a group, or you're following someone in this community that is making you feel some type of way because of your age, you're making you feel fearful, making you feel like you don't have options, and making you feel that you should settle because you are at a certain age, you need to stop following that person, leave that group. Do not follow anyone that is inciting any kind of fear in you, because I don't like to do that. Spiritcraft said, I'm 41, just married. Congratulations, girl. Congratulations. So yeah, that's pretty much my last message I'm going to share with you. If someone is making you fearful, if their message is based in fear, you should leave them alone and stop following them. Do not follow these people, because I hope to God that when you listen to me and you walk away with something of value, and you don't walk away feeling fearful or feeling, what's the word I'm looking for? Defeated, discouraged. That's not why I'm here. And if you're listening and you feel that type of way, you should just unfollow me too. But do not follow people that are making you fearful, making you feel like you're nothing, making you feel less than, people that make you question your self-esteem, your everything, causing you to have self-doubt. Don't follow those people. So if anyone has any questions, now would be a great time to ask. Let me finish my drink. By the way, if you're not following my personal account, go to my page right now. I'm only following like 3 people on here, and follow my personal account, Mimi Von Snatch, because I'm on there like literally every day. I only get on here when I have to go live, because I don't even post on here. I've been thinking of getting, an assistant or something like that, someone that can help me post, because it would be nice to get this account, get this account up and doing something, if you know what I mean. So no one has any questions? Because if no one has any questions, I can wrap this up. Hey. What we bring. Okay, I read this comment before. Sasha said, I've heard that, but I hear it most from men. I hear it mostly from men too, but believe it or not, I've heard it from women in this community as well. Surprisingly, I've heard it from women. And I was surprised because, and the person that I heard it from, she has a lot of followers. And you know, only people, I feel like when I hear people talking like that, if it's not a man, if it's a woman, usually that woman is literally under 30. That's someone in their 20s. Because only people in their 20s, only teens and people in their 20s actually think that 30s and 40s is old. It isn't. Okay, go ahead and ask your question. A lot of women, they act as though after 35 give up. Yeah. Maybe I do not know why people still have that mindset now in this day and age. It's incredible. There are people in their 30s that are still in college, still getting a degree, etc. Learn to be unbothered, absolutely. The 9K doll, are you gonna ask your question? She's like, I have a question, but I'm waiting for the question. Okay. How do you respond to someone is not a friend? She's a classmate. She stood me up and she's invited me to the cinema, but I didn't answer her because I fell asleep, and next day I woke up to her messages. I'm confused. She stood you up. I do not know. That sounds crazy and toxic. And how I would respond to that, I wouldn't. I would just move on. That doesn't sound healthy. And because she stood you up, and then she is upset when you're not answering your phone, sounds abusive. Maybe they assume we all need to have babies, but that part isn't for everyone. Absolutely, because it's not for me. I'm in my 40s. I'm married, and I don't intend to have children because that was never in the stars for me. I want to cut ties on this realm, in this prison planet. I don't want to leave my DNA behind. I don't want to come back here over and over in the cycle of reincarnation. I don't. It's a spiritual thing too, so. Sounds like some Hollywood shit. Yeah, I agree with Spiritcraft. Ignore her. Because if she show her true colors like that, you don't need someone like that. She's trying to flip it now and start drama. Okay, that sounds like a narcissist. So, just be careful. Do men prefer high school teachers? Okay, I'm going to ignore that question because that question sounds like a troll question. Alright, I felt the same way not wanting my remains here. Yeah, I don't. When I die, my family knows that they have to burn me, do not bury me. But I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but I would like to be burned and my ashes scattered. But I do not want to continue that process of death and rebirth. Any more questions? Jane, that's a bizarre question. Like, are you saving this? I'm gonna upload this on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I've been uploading all my lives on my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, go to the link in my bio and come join my YouTube channel. Subscribe. I would appreciate that very much. Alright, ladies. Since no one is asking any more questions, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for coming to my live. Thank you for watching. I'll see you ladies soon. Bye. Okay, end.